Now, there is an explanation as to why we feel uneasy when we see something close to human. It's called the Uncanny Valley.
In 1970, a Japanese roboticist named Masahiro Mori stumbled across this thing. The more human-like he made his robots, the more people liked them.
But only up until a point. As they closed in on actual perfect reproduction of the human form, people just got creeped out.
Okay, Mori's theory is probably best understood as a graph.
The baseline here represents how much your robot or your animated character looks like a real-life human being.
And then going up on this axis here, you have how positively the audience is responding to your character.
So at the bottom here, neither humanoid or well-loved, you've got your industrialized robots.
And as they go up and become more lifelike, you can see how the positive reactions actually grow.
But at this point, things start to get strange.
Because your character can become so lifelike that your brain actually ticks over and goes, oh wait, that's a human, and there's something really wrong with them.
Your positive reaction plummets, and you don't start to feel good again until you see what appears to be flesh and blood humanity, like Mark here. So, this is the Uncanny Valley.
Now, you might be saying, bah, I can tell what's human and digital, and it never makes me feel weird. Well, meet Emily.
Image Metrics is a markerless, performance-driven animation company.
And now, meet the other Emily.
Yeah.
This very effective little corporate video demonstrates one of the latest developments in facial replication from a company called Image Metrics. The animation is so detailed and convincing, but it's still a bit disconcerting, right?
On top of the almost human factor, many monsters toy with the idea of what is natural. Violations of nature and the natural order also terrify us. Most monsters feature some violation of nature. This brings us to our next topic, our primal fears. Primal fears are usually the outcome of natural forces and include the darkness, heights, ferocious animals, spiders, snakes, and death. These fears are responsible for our survival as a race. Yet, shouldn't we be able to shed them now that we are nice and developed? The answer is no. Fears and phobias are hardwired into our brain. A scientific study found that people with ophidiophobia, fear of snakes, are terrified of snakes even when they have witnessed the snake poison sac being removed. They are just as scared of the killer snakes as harmless ones. Thus, it can be assumed that these fears are hardwired into our brains and would be very difficult to remove. Our mind works in metaphors. When a word is stated, the mind instantly maps out a network of connotations, denotations, and personal experiences with the word. When something is monstrous, it is on some level above normal emotions. Being monstrously angry or monstrously terrifying is clearly worse than being angry or terrifying. Monster implies non-human or outside the range of human emotions. Thus, every monster must be a metaphor of what we fear. Monsters can be classified into 4 basic subgroups: mutated life, man-made monsters, supernatural beings, and human monsters. This group includes werewolves, killer plants, giant ants, and any other plant or animal featured in a horror film. These monsters represent our base fears of nature and the power which it possesses. Many times, characters believe that they can control their creation, but it eventually turns on them and perhaps society. This reflects our fear of oppression or seclusion, as well as the destructiveness which humans possess, and the human's general knack of forethought. Supernatural monsters often have some type of anti-religious subtext, and play on our fear of losing our soul and humanity. They also violate natural laws in some way, and are normally found in the Uncanny Valley. Furthermore, they represent our fear of death and our dread of what comes after it. Human monsters are by far the most chilling of all fictitious monsters, primarily because they are the most possible. Psychopaths, rapists, killers, and crazies haunt our movies and our minds, while the fact that they could be anywhere gives these monsters a deeper set fear.
You still wake up sometimes, don't you? You wake up in the dark and hear the screaming of the lamb.
Horror stories have 2 general outcomes. Either everyone is killed and the evil wins, or humans survive with the possibility of destroying the evil. The first outcome brings a stinging theme that life is useless and death is inevitable. The latter ending is more common and brings a sense of entitlement and power to the audience. By having good triumph over evil, the audience feels more satisfied and more secure. For example, by having someone on the screen kill a zombie, the audience gets a sense that they too could kill a zombie, and thus the fear which zombies normally entail is lessened, and the audience is mentally empowered. Each monster which is struck down on screen becomes more manageable for the audience to accept as a non-threatening being.
We're bombarded with facts, images, and sounds that encourage us to be afraid. So why do we then go and seek situations that activate the very systems that were developed to keep us alive?
Humans have the need to be scared. The horror genre enables people to experience fear and thus become familiar with what scares them and attempt to conquer it. Obviously, many people enjoy being scared. This is evident by the multitude of haunted houses around Halloween time, and the excess of slashers and fright flicks throughout the year. Fear is a stimulant. It is an exciting feeling which fills the body with adrenaline, and many people think that horror films are cathartic. This means that after the film is over, the audience feels a sense of relief or joy, since good usually triumphs over evil, and because the real world always seems safer than what is imagined or on screen. However, if humans enjoy fear and experience pleasure during terror, why make monsters cute? The answer is more similar than you may think. Cute monster films are marketed to a younger audience, and have the same basic function as any other fright film. These films make childhood horrors into a silly or cute substitute. This gives the children the confidence and maturity to manage their fears. To have fear is to be human. We all share similar cognitive abilities which entail an active imagination, and are always in the search of some sense of security. Monsters reflect the human desire to belong and the human fear of losing your soul or sense of being, or even death. By studying monsters, we realize what we deem as inhuman, and by focusing on that, perhaps we can find what we think human really is.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.